If we don't do anything about the control on the movement of our borders, we're not going to stop these drugs. Regardless of what we do with the cartel, we will not stop the drugs. And I must say, it's not only the police in the border. Almost everyone that works there gets involved with the syndicate. From all different departments, different entities in the border, they get involved with syndicates that are working there.
Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today at the final sitting of the Ad Hoc Committee, General Mkhwanazi didn't just speak. He spoke the raw, painful truth that we've all been screaming in our streets, in our homes, and in our hearts. If you haven't watched it yet, you need to, because what he said is not opinion, it is fact, and it should shake every one of us to the core. Before we jump in, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell. Let's get into it.
But I want to start with this one, which is I'm saying is the one before last. The cartel and the Big Five. Whether they are going to be confirmed at whatever point, who are they, but how do we defeat them? Because these are people that we have to defeat, given what we are told they are engaged on. From what we have heard, there is nothing that they are involved in which has got to do with our national interest. It's more about self-preservation and about their own personal interest, the advancements of those. How do we defeat them? Because at some point, we can't allow a group like that. We've got to find a way to defeat it.
The last one and most important one, our borders. If we don't do anything about the control on the movement of our borders, we're not going to stop these drugs. Regardless of what we do with the cartel, we will not stop the drugs. I said when I presented that it is not only the Big Five that we have a problem with. They happen to be closer to the government officials, senior government officials, and take control of the entire security cluster. These five. But there's big dogs out there that are sitting and smiling. That are making billions of friends on bringing these drugs into the country and packaging them and reselling them. So until we control our borders, a typical example, police officers we have in the borders, they've been there for ages. The employment condition of a police officer is not easy for you to say you are here on a contract for 1 year and after 1 year you must move. We go through all the labor process to try and remove a person after we've placed a person in one spot, because there's no flexibility in terms of our labor laws, employment condition in the police. It must be looked at. It doesn't matter how good I might be about KZN, but the moment I'm so used to the port of entry on Durban and I'm so immense into corruption, whether it's taxis, whether it's CITs, whether it's stock theft, whatever it is, I might need to move from that province and go to another province. Take me and say, now go to Limpopo. You become a provincial commissioner and see you can do what you're doing here as a civil servant. But we don't do that. We become so used to the environment where we're working, and then the criminality then start cropping in, because these criminals either threaten us or they're going to bribe us. Either way. So that's what we see happening in the borders. And I must say, it's not only the police in the border. Almost everyone that works there gets involved with the syndicate. From all different departments, different entities in the border, they get involved with syndicates that are working there. So unless we do something about those border controls, we're not going to stop this. So that is the number one priority for me on the borders. Cash in transit, secondly, and the third one, we must start looking at the tenders. That's how we're going to stop this cartel. If we don't do that, you close the borders, they have cash in transit highs. You close that, they still run tenders because they're controlling some of the procurements that are happening, and they still enjoy life.
So the general was asked a very simple question. What must we do to defeat these drug and criminal syndicates? His answer was crystal clear and brutally honest. Number one, and he called it the most important, our borders. He said, and I quote, "If we don't do anything about the control on movements of our borders, we're not going to stop these drugs. Regardless of what we do to the cartel, we will not stop the drugs." He exposed the big five that everyone talks about, the ones close to senior government officials who have captured the entire security cluster. But he warned us that there are even bigger dogs out there, sitting back, smiling, making billions while they flood our country with drugs and weapons. He painted the picture of police officers who have been stuck at the same border post for years. No rotation, no flexibility in labor laws. They become so comfortable, so immersed that corruption becomes normal. Bribes, threats, or both. And it's not just police, customs, immigration. Every department at our borders is infected. Then he nailed the next two priorities. Stop the cash-in-transit heists that fund these monsters and rip open the tenders they are using to launder their billions and keep their grip on power. General Mkhwanazi didn't sugarcoat it. He said until we fix the borders, we are doomed. Full stop. This is exactly what every South African has been screaming about for years. This is why Operation Dudula and March and March have so much support. Not just because illegal immigration is breaking our schools and hospitals, which it is, but also because these same open borders are the highway for the big syndicates bringing in tons of drugs and guns that are destroying our children, our communities, and our future. We've always felt it on the ground. The addicts, the CIT robberies, the killings. But we never had the full picture. Now, thanks to brave whistleblowers like General Mkhwanazi, we see it clearly. These are not small-time criminals. These are organized syndicates with billions protected at the highest levels. And let's say it plainly. This government has served us up on a silver platter to these criminals. They have sold our country and our children's future to the highest bidder while they themselves live large behind high walls. This is not incompetence. This is betrayal. We thank you, General Mkhwanazi. Your bravery took real courage. In a country where telling the truth can cost you everything, you stood up anyway, and South Africans salute you. But words without action are worthless. Today was the last day of the ad hoc hearings. Now the real test begins. Will there be arrests? Will there be legislation changes? Will the borders be properly controlled? Will the tenders be cleaned up? Or will this whole exercise be just another talk show? No consequences, no real change, business as usual while the syndicates laugh. We already know what we suspect, but we are done suspecting. We have our voices, we have our solidarity, and we will use both loudly, relentlessly, until real change happens. Because our country is not for sale, our children are not for sale, and we will not be silent while criminals and their protectors run this nation into the ground. General Mkhwanazi has done his part. Now it's our turn. Stay vigilant, stay united, and demand what is rightfully ours, a safe, secure, and sovereign South Africa. This is not the end. This is the beginning of our fight back. Let me know what you thought about the General's testimony in the comments below. Watch the video on your left to see the BMA being exposed for taking bribes to allow illegal foreigners into the country. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell. Until next time.